Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. You all probably saw our 6 o'clock broadcast about what happened in Nowgam. Now, this is all connected back to the same Delhi blast. And there are some missing links there. Some things have gotten unearthed. And we are taking a big picture here as what happened and what are the lessons one can learn from this, because looks like there are some gaps in the way things have been done. Let's welcome the eminence expert, Colonel Mayank Chaube. Colonel Saab, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Namaskar, Sriji. I am fine, thank you.
So, Colonel Saab, you've been very busy. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and you've been advised bed rest, but you convinced your doctor to allow you to take part in this program, 30 minutes long. We won't take more than that. There's only one topic that we're going to talk about: the lessons that you can learn from some things like this. Somewhere, we both were discussing this offline. Things don't add up. What really happened? So I leave the floor over to you, viewers. By the way, the origin of the ammonium nitrate procured is also now coming up. We are double checking this information. It points to a place in Nuh region, NUH in Haryana. That's what it's saying. We are still checking that and double checking that. This is preliminary findings. Over to you, Colonel Saab.
Okay, thank you, Sriji. And today, as we speak, we have the background that there was a massive blast which took place last night, on the night of the 14th of November, at around 11:20. It took place in the Nowgam police station area. When I say area, because this blast occurred in the compound of this police station. And the background goes that FIR number 162 of 2025 is filed in Nowgam police station. And this FIR is related to the haul of ammonium nitrate and other chemicals which were allegedly involved in the Delhi blast. So they are confiscated from Faridabad. Now, when this blast occurs, my initial hunch is that, okay, this chemical would have been found somewhere in the Kashmir Valley. And that is why it is placed in the compound as an evidence of this police station. And that is the reason why that the forensic FSL is pressed into action and they are taking a sample at 11 o'clock in the night. Because the DG police of J&K, he came on record at 10 o'clock in the morning today and he said that FSL was taking samples of this material for testing as to what were there. And this was happening at the night time. So yes, the situation was serious and sampling at night would have been warranted. So I thought that probably this was captured or caught somewhere in the Kashmir Valley itself. But when I heard this presser, he made a statement that it was found in Faridabad. And then it was taken over by this Nowgam police. So this adds up to a new dimension as to why should the police put this hazardous chemical which was not known to the police authorities, because once you are taking the samples from the explosive, that means you are not aware as to what is the composition or you want to ascertain the composition. In any case, why should you shift such a huge quantity of explosive of which you are not very sure from a place in Haryana to a place in Kashmir, a long distance? So, okay, we assume that they have transported it from Haryana. What are the means of transport they could have utilized? The first is the fastest means is by air. I don't think you should transport such explosives by air because air security is also of paramount importance. You cannot jeopardize the aircraft and the personnel in the aircraft, maybe the crew, maybe the police personnel, whosoever they are. The second thing is transportation by rail. Again, the rail is a public carrier. You cannot have a special rail plying from Faridabad to Srinagar just carrying this explosive. A goods train probably employed, but then why should you employ a goods train to travel all the way from this place to Nowgam? The third is by road. Now, the journey by road itself is hazardous. You are going to pass through congested areas. You're going to pass through habited areas. Cities will be there. Why should you transport it? So it's mind-boggling as to how this chemical finally lands up at that police station. So that was one doubt that was lingering in my mind. And why was this doubt lingering in my mind? Because there is a history. In 1994, on 29th of March, a blast happens in Badami Bagh cantonment. And in this blast, we lose the precious life of one Major General who was at one time my General Officer commanding. We lose uh, quite a few senior officers, and few senior officers were senior to me at that point of time. They belong to my same organization, the corps from which I come from. So what was happening was that these items which was confiscated from the terrorists, they were on display, and a blast occurs, and the general officer was in the adjoining room, and the blast is so massive that the general officer loses his life. And I think in that bargain, we lost 15 precious lives in that incident. So the army immediately corrected its SOPs, and we decide that no such type of hazardous things will not be transported. They will be destroyed in situ. So whenever you confiscate certain explosives or equipment which you find is hazardous equipment, when I say it may be a improvised explosive device. So we decided that we will destroy it in situ and not carry it back. And while destroying, we prepare the evidence. You jot down the details. You put it in your inventory as to how and what type of material did you confiscate. And this was good enough evidence to be produced in the court of law. So, if in case the armed forces was doing it, why wasn't the police following suit? Because this was being followed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the police works in tandem with the army. So the drills of the army are very well known to the police. So how come this happened is mind-boggling. So that means, okay, if some such a thing has happened, precious lives have been lost. To the best of my knowledge, 9 people have perished. They have lost their lives, and 27 seriously injured. And I don't know what is the condition of the injured, because such a massive blast, which was heard 15 kilometers away, would have been really massive. So I'm really lost at words as to how could this happen. I'm very sure, because the DGP has categorically said that this was not an act of sabotage, as was being speculated by many channels. So I'm going by the words of the DG police that this thing would have happened. So this is really mind-boggling, and how come this was allowed to happen? It really baffles me. If in case this thing has happened, I'm very sure that the J&K police will be now plugging the gaps in their standard operating procedures, and they will follow the procedures as being followed by the army in the valley. This is my humble request to the J&K police to understand the situation and then follow the same drills that the army is following in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So that is my long and short of the story, Sriji. It's a sad state of affairs. Why could this happen? Why shouldn't we arrest such a thing? It could have been avoided. That is my statement.
See, if you look at these two incidents, the Delhi blast as well as this one, these were done to prevent an even bigger thing from happening. In here also, they were trying to figure out what was the thing that was added and so on and so forth. Now, if you go take step back and look at Delhi blast, people are still getting quizzed. I think 500 people have been questioned in the valley so far, or something like that. The number is massive, massive.
Yes. Yes.
And throw a little bit of light on that original investigation, because that one is making a lot of people nervous, I heard.
Exactly. Now the investigations are on as to from where did the explosives come to them, who were the OGWs, that is the overground workers, who were colluding, from where were the finances being maintained. If we take it that they were self-indoctrinated, self-radicalized, but then the money would have come from somewhere. The technological know-how, probably they consulted the net and they got the details as to how to assemble the thing. If this was available, then the raw material was transported, and the raw material was transported from the valley. It is said that there were various invoices which were caught by the police. The J&K CID laid hands on those invoices, and these were present in the valley itself. So this material was moved as an agrochemical from the valley. And you know that it is the base of fertilizer, so it can be transported as an agrochemical, and nobody would even think that this could be used as an explosive. So probably it was moved from there. But then, as you say, you named Mewat in the introduction. Now, Mewat is an area in Haryana, and Mewat has a sizable population. This is the biggest Muslim dominated district of Haryana. So, what happens is that various pointers they emerge the moment you name a place, and it points towards a proper network. This Al Falal University came into play, and many doctors from the university also, their names sprung up. There was one lady doctor who was caught in Lucknow and who has a brother also working there. So, what happens is that if one person is nabbed, the entire network is exposed. A sort of a white collar terrorism has now been unearthed in the country. It's a very worrying sign that now what happens is that the terrorist, he is not educated in a madrasa. He is well educated, well read. The doctor involved in the blast who perished in the Delhi blast, Dr. Umar, he got his degree from China and he's practicing. So, whom do you believe? Whom do you don't believe? That becomes a big question. Now, the person who is thinking on these lines, who's ready to blow him up, could be your next door neighbor who is sitting and sipping a cup of coffee with you. You don't know what is going on in his mind. The very next moment, he may be driving a silver color I-20 into the Red Fort. So many questions are thrown up when you go deep into this case, and I'm sure the security agencies and the intelligence agencies would be working overtime to decode many issues and to find out solutions of many issues which are yet to be unearthed, because till now the entire network has not been unearthed. Arrests are still taking place. There are reports that more of ammonium nitrate is yet to be discovered. So the security officers are working day and night, and they're trying to find out as to where this balance amount is hidden. It will definitely come into the notice of the security forces. It's a matter of time. You just can't hide it. But then, yes, many worrying questions are now up. Many red flags have been raised. Ji Sriji. I believe there is a signal loss on Sriji's side. So we continue, and as a concerned citizen, it is a duty of every citizen of the country to keep a watch on any such activity, any suspicious activity. If you find something suspicious, new people emerging in your neighborhood, suspicious looking things, people who maintain a different sort of a routine, which is slightly away from the normal behavior, the matter should be brought to the notice of all security agencies. That is my request to the public at large, because when it comes to the 2.5 front warfare, the two fronts can be taken control and taken stock of by the armed forces, but point 0.5 front, when it comes, every Indian is a soldier without uniform when it comes to fighting the point 0.5 front. That is what I wish to bring to the notice of every common citizen. Ji Sriji.
Sorry about that. I had an important call and I had to
Ji Ji,
take
no
it,
issue.
and I'm back. Colonel Saab, this whole thing here, this is taking on a shape which is a little bit scary, because the same area, the Mewat No area, is where Tablighi Jamaat is located. Tablighi Jamaat is a very, very dangerous organization. And you talk to me about a triangle. Talk to us a little bit about that, because these are all evolving places of terror. And somewhere, see, this is the thing. Why are we not shutting down the madrasas? This is a cancer on the society. Sir, over to you.
Actually, I found a image on the net which I could not place. Where did I see it? So what they had done, they had drawn a triangle. They had connected Mewat, Nu, and Deoband, and the triangle formed. Delhi was in the center of that triangle. So that image, I don't know who created that image and how far it was true, but then the image was existing. And as you made a mention regarding Tablighi Jamaat, yes, Tablighi Jamaat believes in proselytization, and their belief is to convert people into the fold. And if you recall, we had a preacher by the name of Zakir Naik, who is now absconding, who had gone to Qatar, I think, to give a talk during the FIFA, if I'm not wrong. So, if in case you have an organization which was displaying very damaging pictures during the COVID times, if you recall, their activities in the hospital were, I don't know, it was beyond civility, if you can call it. The way they were behaving with the nursing staff, it was not polite at all. So you have an organization which has this ideology, then you have Deoband, which believes in a certain ideology, which was followed by the Taliban and many terrorist organizations which are operational in Pakistan. So there is a requirement to put a check on all these institutions, and what is being taught there and what is being followed, that requires to be monitored. I am sure that the security agencies will now take a stock of situation and definitely put them under the scanner, because that is the need of the hour. You cannot let people roam around in the streets of the country who are carrying such dangerous stuff and who are now very well trained and very well educated. So white collar terrorism is there to haunt us now.
Colonel Saab, there are many layers here in how NIA must be going about, adding more people to its organization. We talked about it in the previous, previous hangout, where the budget of NIA is a few hundred crores, and that's hardly enough for this kind of stuff. But we also know that in this case, there has been a lot of digital currency transactions which are very hard to trace, and this thing is going all over the place. Karachi, it is going to Ankara,
POJK.
it is going to Doha, Qatar, and none of these countries, these buggers will come and make a big noise when Nupur Sharma says something that is factual. Where the F is your tongues now? This Al Thani family, I'm telling you, Qatar, full of hatred and venom. Where are your all your mouths now? All tongues are gone. Cat got your tongue. What are you planning in India?
Sriji, if you recall that 9 of our Navy officers and a sailor, they were caught by Qatar under the false pretext that they were spying on behalf of Israel. They were just working there in Qatar and they were caught. And I know that what could have gone behind the scenes to secure their release. Prime Minister Modi had a word with the Emir of Qatar, and what all diplomatic pressures India would have applied to secure the release of these people is nobody's business. Yes, we all know that Qatar is a place which harbors the terrorist organizations of the world. And it is ironical that the USA has a major base in Doha. They have a major base existing in Qatar, and they have the enemies of the United States also staying there. So Qatar is harboring. So the relationship between the USA and Qatar, it's pretty tricky. I'm using the word tricky. It's a very polite word to say. But then, yes, the fact is that the relationship is not pious and not at all platonic.
Colonel Saab, that was a message by US to Qatar. Don't think that just because we have a base that we are going to act on when you are harboring criminals. The takeout operation that Israel did, striking all the Hamas negotiators, saying, "No, these are negotiators. They were negotiating for peace. You did something." This did shake up the Middle East. Dual-tongued people. Also, Colonel Saab, you have much better info on this than me. I did a program where I tried to find out who are the foot soldiers. Foot soldiers, meaning the guys who actually go chappa, they go and cell by cell, they go and occupy, supposing they are in enemy territory. who are the boots on the ground? And I found something alarming. Whether it is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or Qatar, and to a certain extent UAE, these are all from Pakistani army.
Yes.
The Sipahi there is a Pakistani guy.
Yeah.
Only officer level, these guys are there. I mean, guys, don't you ever read history? Don't you know what happened in the 3rd century to Rome? I'm telling to all these three people, unasked for advice, all the sons and daughters of princely families, you are running all these things. Don't you know what happened? History repeats itself too. Sir, there is a huge, huge problem. I have a feeling that in Qatar, these guys had a vice like grip on the armed forces and naval forces. They did not like it that some Indians got posted there. It's possible. And
Yes.
this could have been framed. Okay. And also, I think India learned its lesson. We know that this is what these people are. Their true colors have come out. Against Qatar, I tell you, I don't even try to breathe the air there when I fly. This is just, I'm not going to take any chances in this country. And this is all
Okay,
for
Sriji.
speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Sir, go ahead.
Sriji, if you take a note that recently Saudi Arabia has signed a deal with the with
Yeah.
Pakistani state, saying that if one country is attacked, it will be considered as attack on the other country. And have been saying that this is not a deal which is supposed to be looked that way. That deal is just buying of Pakistani soldiers and to be used as security guards in Saudi Arabia. That is the deal. And money has changed hand and money has traveled to various countries because they have been traveling from the pockets of the Pakistani army. General Asim Munir has benefited financially from this deal, and so has the ruling dispensation of Pakistan, the politicians. So what has happened is that they have bought these security guards known as the Pakistani army, and 25,000 of them are supposed to be stationed opposite Houthis. I am sorry,
Yes.
Houthis will beat the shit out of them. It's very difficult to survive them. Pakistani army is not trained to fight such wars. So what will they do? They will behave like normal Pakistanis. They will try and run the grooming gangs in Saudi Arabia. And believe me, very soon you will be finding Pakistani army soldiers hanging in the streets of Saudi Arabia because they will not be able to control their desires and urges, and Saudi Arabia is not going to spare them. So you wait and watch. What is there in store for these soldiers? It is time will only tell. So they have done a deal with somebody who is going to put them to shame. Regarding the Turkey case, we all know so well. And I have been given to understand that this time Turkey was celebrating its national day, and I don't think any Indian visited the Turkish embassy in New Delhi.
Yes.
This is my
Yes.
information. Yeah. So slowly and steadily we are showing our resentment that friend, if in case you employ your soldiers or your people are engaged in waging a war against our country, we are not going to shut our eyes and be goody goody with you. No longer Operation Dost will be launched.
Colonel Saab, while you're mentioning, now that you've mentioned Turkey, let's take a quick look at what happened in Op Sindoor. There were some state-of-the-art drones that only Turkey operators could operate, and my information is at least 2 died when there was a blowback. Sir?
Yes. Sriji, I can name the place. The name place was Sialkot. There were 2 drone operators who were operating from Sialkot. And believe me, there was a Pakistani senior journalist who came on television show and he was reasoning it out with me on live television that what is wrong if they are operating because we have an understanding with Turkey. I said, friend, you have understanding with a country for issue of purchase of arms and ammunition and training. You don't employ some other country people to wage your war. So he is on record. If you want, I can share that recording with you, Sriji, where this guy says, and then he says that there were Israelis operating from Jammu and Kashmir. I challenged him on air. I said, you give me names of 2 Israelis. I'm going to name these 2 Turkey soldiers who were there flying those drones. I will give you the 10-figure grid reference of these guys where they were killed because I have got pictures of their namaz-e-janaza being offered. So this man, then he kept quiet. But look at the audacity. On live television, he is accepting the fact that it is okay for foreign soldiers to fight from Pakistani soil.
These guys try to bluff their way through, and just bluff and bluster, and also they don't think about the consequences. What I said now could come back and bite me. Like, for example, now we are taking the guy apart. These people
Yeah.
don't think through that. I mean, look at the way Pakistani army plans its attacks against India. They just plan for 10 days. They're very sure somebody will come in and stop the,
Come on,
the conflict.
mediate.
Huh?
Mediate.
I mean, India also should have some, you have to go back and look at your history books. 65. Sir, 65 is, to me, India. Yes, India lost some areas in desert area in Rajasthan, but India had gained valuable space area near Lahore. They were operating some of the outer areas of Lahore. It was all, the police thana was taken over by India. I
Yes,
think they
really,
sat there for 2-3 months, if I remember correctly.
there are pictures of Indian Army soldiers standing in front of the police station in Lahore.
Yes, yes.
So
And
Lahore was very much under our belt.
yeah, and why you have to go and give it back? This is something that, I mean, I don't know. Look at what Israel does. Every time these Arab states ganged up against it and they went to war, Israel defeated them handily and then took over a lot of the territory.
Sriji, what I fear, this time the mood is such. Now, what you try to do is you try to connect the dots. 3rd of October 2025, General Upendra Dwivedi, Chief of Army Staff, he visits Ganganagar cantonment. He is addressing the Jawans and he gives a warning that in Operation Sindoor, we had restrained ourselves. This time, if something happens, we will not restrain ourselves and we will change the geography and history. He meant business. So did our defense minister. The statements have been very, very categorical. This time, if you note, after the Delhi blast, we didn't accept, we didn't give a statement. What we did was we said that it was a blast. Then the CCS meets. After the CCS meeting, we say that it was a terrorist act. Marco Rubio tells that Indian security agencies and the investigating agencies are doing a commendable job. Now, what we have done is we have shown to the world that we are piecing the evidences together. And once we have pieced the evidence together, then we will name who are the perpetrators and who are the forces behind this terrorist act. And once it is named, no country in the world will be able to question us. Switzerland has gone on record. Their embassy has tweeted that they are with India in their fight against terrorism. So has the Argentinian embassy. So what is happening is now every country in the world is now rallying behind India in the fight against terrorism. So this time the steps are very, very calculated. And if in case the geography and history of Pakistan doesn't change, I should be surprised. Because the indicators are indicating there, as you made a mention, Karachi, POJK, I'm not talking of Turkey and Doha, but then involvement of Binance. There are stamps of Binance there. So where does Binance come from? You all know that there was a dealing between Trump's son's company and the Pakistan Crypto Council. So evidences are coming to fore, but then we have not yet declared that this was originated from which country. And that name will come very, very soon. It's time to just wait and watch. And once it comes to fore, then God save that country.
So if I understand it correctly, Colonel Saab, what India is doing is it is systematically reconstructing how this whole planning happened, and then it is going to then take a sense. Okay, this is what it is, and then of course there will be a time and place, and the action will be decided by India. So this is a very deliberate step-by-step approach. I think this is mainly to try and see if America somehow gets swayed. I have been very critical about the way America goes about doing it. So this lobbying is really killing America. Lobbying that happens in Washington, D.C. really kills America. And India has been slow to understand this. Only now we are getting a few firms here and there. It's too little, too late. Pakistan was the beneficiary of a lot of funding from America, over from America took over from where Britain left off. And so they, what happens is when money comes to Pakistan, that money finds its way back to United States. So the lobbying group there is very, very powerful, and they can, do or do panch kar sakte hain. They can do all that stuff. See, this is where you are really stuck at this point of time, and India needs to. I don't know what to say. First of all, this whole thing about transporting questionable explosive material, very dangerous exercise, and this is something. See, I can understand why police is saying that there is not a act of terror. They're trying to put a clamp on the whole thing because they are afraid that tensions may fray in Jammu and Kashmir. How long have we been hearing this? 1947. Now we are in 2025. 53, 70. My entire age I've been hearing this. Oh, we have to, what is that called? We have to win their hearts. You can win the hearts by also squeezing somebody's testicular stuff. My point, sir, I could be harsh here.
No. So Pakistan should be looking after their khaki trousers now, because that iron fist is about to reach there. So let it be a warning call. It's just a matter of time, and they also know it very well that they have done something wrong and they will be thoroughly punished. That is for sure. And slowly the indicators are moving in that direction. So whatever be the case, yes, please.
I'm sorry, you finish your thoughts, sir. I thought you were done.
I said, whatever be the case, the perpetrators and their handlers will always be brought to justice as the Prime Minister has promised. And remember, he went to Bhutan and then he spoke in English.
Yes.
When the Prime Minister speaks in English, that means he is conveying that to the world. This he did before Operation Sindoor. This he has done now also. So I am very sure that lot of fear would be there, and that fear emanated and it resulted in that false flag operation with Pakistan carried out in Islamabad. And they hurriedly blamed India for that. And even the Pakistanis, they said that why are you trying to fool us? This is a false flag operation carried out by your own army, in which they lost their own countrymen's lives. And yet the people in Pakistan, they still said that it was a false flag operation. So let's see, lot more to come.
Yes, indeed. And let's take some questions now, Colonel Saab. Mr. Raghuram, thank you for becoming YouTube member. I was reminded of Bollywood dialogue, when Modi ji speaks in English, this is like Bollywood dialogue, kaan khol kar sun lo.
Exactly. This is Naya Bharat, ghar mein ghus ke marega.
Danny wants to know why increasing terror plans from Kashmir after Omar Abdullah came into power.
Is that a question or a statement? Do I really need to answer that, sir?
No, we don't have to. I kind of find it very questionable that they are going to do this valley back and forth 6-month thing. Jammuites don't care. And it's a lot of expenditure getting all the files across. Oh, what nonsense.
Exactly.
Stop that.
Might as well have a separate Jammu state. The Jammuites will be happy. The Kashmiris will also be very happy.
Yes. I mean, there are reasons for... Yeah, Magnet Rangaji wants to know, the modus operandi of jihadis has gone up by a few notches. They have started using education itself as a tool. When will the government stop being politically right, and what action can government do quickly?
Immediately. Keep everybody under the radar. I love the Chinese that way. CCTV cameras installed, AI augmented, observing any facial expression which goes haywire, that man is picked up, red flag raised. So we have to be very, very strict and harsh. Now, no more choot, what you say, that people come out after Friday prayers and they go and burn things and they do this. Such type of nonsense will not be acceptable. The government will have to take some steps. You cannot go on social media and ridicule a death. That is really distasteful. What is happening is, Sriji, what I've been noticing is that there is a blast. People lose their lives and people mock those things. They put smileys on such posts. So what is done is, I really appreciate the Assam Chief Minister. He said that he went on to social media and people have been picked up on praising this blast or siding by this blast. So this should be there. If in case you can't sing the Vande Mataram, might as well cross the border and go somewhere else. If for you country is not first, this country is not meant for you. Plain and simple. India first, always and every time. And there should be a law. I think the constitution should say that the country will be foremost. No more religion first policy. Tiranga has to be respected. You will jolly well stand for Janganman, and Janganman should be played in the cinema hall with impunity. Let everybody stand. The person who doesn't stand should be made to lie down forever. If you can't stand for my national anthem, you have got no right to stay there or live there. So we have to
Anand
be a
Saab,
bit. Yes, please.
yeah, I have to tell you this because
Yeah.
I've said this thing a few times in my shows. In the United States, there's a lot of freedom of speech, but there are some things that are always followed. Any event that takes place in high school, even a basketball game, even any other kind of a sport between two schools, right? Everybody sings the national anthem, everybody stands and salutes the flag, and only then the game starts. For every game, Sarji.
Sir,
And
we
and and
require to, yeah, we have to buckle up. See,
yes,
lot of freedom has been given, but not above my country's interest. If in case you are shy to speak for my country, you have got no right to stay here. You have a blue passport, you are using the currency notes, Reserve Bank of India printed over it. Jolly well respect what is there in your pocket. If you can't, you've got no right to stay here. Put them behind bars or throw them out of the country, I don't care. Country will always come first and all every time. That's very clear. It should be there.
Vijay Kumar wants to know, Mayank sir, why RDX broad didn't explode during the export and blasted in Nowgam?
It
Do you
wasn't
think it's the
RDX.
same RDX?
No, it wasn't RDX. It was most probably ammonium nitrate. It was not RDX, export and blasted. No, do you think the same RDX? See, what happens is any explosive, okay, if I consider that it was RDX, although it wasn't RDX, RDX is an explosive. Now, explosive in itself, even if you pick up RDX and you hit somebody with RDX, that will not explode. It will be just a stone. So is the case with TNT. TNT comes as a solid piece. You pick up a TNT slab and you hit somebody. From my side, if you fire a bullet into TNT, that will not explode. TNT is that stable. So every explosive has got a property to explode or detonate given a particular impulse. Now, what happens when you store explosive? Explosive is a chemical. When you store things due to storage conditions, the stability of that chemical might reduce. So reduction in the stability might result in it behaving in a manner which it is not designed for. So in any case, this wasn't RDX as per my information. It was ammonium nitrate plus
Yeah,
some
I think he
chemical.
mistyped it. I think he
Yeah,
meant ammonium nitrate.
yeah.
Vijay Kumar ji, at 6 o'clock in the morning, India time, I had put out this whole thing. What does it take? Ammonium nitrate is a very commonly occurring compound. How do you take that thing and you weaponize it? There are many ways. And I was just trying to hint that perhaps something else was there in store. We don't know when it was stored there. People around you are in a bit of a hostile territory there, so you have to treat it as such. Next
Sriji,
one,
there
please.
can be a
Yeah,
possibility that a person who approaches that store, in the dark of the night, he might be carrying a kangri to warm himself.
yeah.
You never know what happened because now nobody is there to tell the tale, what went wrong. So in J&K, it is pretty cold now, and locals, they are in the habit of carrying a kangri inside the ferran. You never know, some spark was there and which made it go up, but then nobody is there to tell a tale now.
So I think what Colonel Saab is hinting is the material was not just ammonium nitrate. It might have been mixed with something
It
that
was
will basically bring down the temperature of combustion and explosion. This is what explained in the 6 a.m. story. You can understand, you can read it
the
and understand.
DGP also said so. It was ammonium nitrate. It was plus some chemicals and certain other reagents. So it was not pure this thing.
Yeah. Milburn wants to know, do you think that they will ever get to the bottom of it or will be unsolved like other things? Silly
No,
question.
no, no. No, it's not a silly question. It's a very intelligent question. See, what happens is that we carry out something known as a post-blast investigation. So the size of the crater, the depth of the crater, the shape of the crater, everything will give you a telltale sign. So from that itself, one can find out as to how much explosive was involved, what type of explosive was involved, because every explosive has got a signature. The smoke will be of a different color, the blast sound may vary, the intensity of the blast. So there are many signs when you carry out such investigations which will give you the hint as to what exactly happened. Like sitting in a moving car and seeing at the pictures, I could make out that ANFO, that is ammonium nitrate and fuel oil mixture, went up in the Red Fort area. So it's very easy to find out. So it won't be unsolved. That thing will be found out.
Colonel Saab, before we go to the next question, explain to us a little bit about this Kangli thing. Is it like a pot where it has lots of
Yeah.
hot coal or something like that?
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes. Yes.
keep it near your stomach?
Yeah. So Kangdi is a contraption. It's made out of cane and it carries an earthen pot. And in the earthen pot, you carry coal. Now coal is smoldering. Yeah, this is the picture. So this coal is smoldering and it gives out heat when you place it near your stomach. So it's very common in Kashmir and it's an art to carry it inside your ferran. So it keeps you warm throughout. So you see those curved cane pieces. That is where you hold it in your hand and you carry it. Yeah, this is the way you hold it. So this keeps you warm. Maybe somebody was carrying it and something tripped, somebody fell down, somebody was carrying some material in his hand, tripped and fell down. I don't know exactly what happened. There has to be an initiation to set it off. And that initiation probably was given. It was given, or was it happening? I don't know.
Gitanjali Singh wants to know, why was the confiscated material transported to a sensitive place like Kashmir and not anywhere else in India? Doesn't seem to be a smart move. Why was help of local tailor taken for a sensitive task?
No, the tailor happened to be there. Tailor was part of the team. FSL team was working on it. First of all, yes, the sensitive material should not have been there. Not only Kashmir, it shouldn't have been transported anywhere in the country. So my first hunch was that probably it was confiscated from the adjoining area. Then it was placed there. But then the DGP in a statement, he says that it was confiscated from Faridabad. Now, there's the FIR which is lodged by the police station. So that police station being up is responsible to hold all the evidence. And this material was being held as an evidence. So if you just rule out the explosive part, it was very natural for that chemical to be there. But the very fact that the chemical was explosive in nature should have been destroyed in situ rather than being carried there. So that is where the SOPs of Kashmir police will have to be slightly tweaked. And this element has to
SOP
come.
standard operating procedures.
Sorry, yeah, standard operating procedures here.
Naresh wants to know, why cannot we block artificial note or some sensors to direct explosive chemicals like our breathalyzer and check all vehicles? Your views, Ji.
Okay, sir, there are specialized equipment to detect explosives. You have got a EVD, explosive vapor detector. So it's a long vacuum cleaners type of an equipment, and when it goes near the explosive, it can sniff. The best explosive detector, you know who? We call it
Dog?
as a biosniffer.
Hmm.
Now, I'll tell you one example. There was one gentleman who was carrying a briefcase in his hand, and the dog at the airport, he gave a signal that there was explosive inside the briefcase. So this briefcase was opened, it was ripped apart, no explosive content was found there. But the dog had given a signal, so you cannot deny the fact that the dog had sniffed explosive. You know what was there inside the briefcase? There was a issue voucher of an ammunition factory inside that briefcase. That trace of explosive on that issue voucher, a document which had come out from a ammunition factory, that was sniffed by a dog at the airport. So biosniffers, dog are man's best friend when it comes to detection of such things. So whenever you see a dog sitting there at the airport, give him a salute. He is the best soldier a man can get along with side. So in the army, we give proper respect to these soldiers. They are known as the K9. Yeah. So amazing, amazing. I can't say animal because they are much above the Pakistanis. The Pakistanis are not even animals, but a dog is a man's best friend when it comes to detection of explosive, and we call them as biosniffers.
Sarji, this I have seen instances of young men stoning dogs to death in Pakistan. This is also one of their teachings.
Sir,
It's disgusting.
sir, after discussing a beautiful incident of the man's best friend, I don't want to spoil my taste discussing this thought. Pakistan is not a country, it's a thought which is just existing. And like a thought, it might vaporize one day.
Yes, indeed, and thank you so much, sir. We'll be back again with Colonel Mayank Saab with his regular programming Tuesdays. And thanks once again, sir. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sriji. Nice talking to you. Jai Hind.